Okay, hello guys. Welcome to today's session. Today we are doing an introduction to video editing. It's just me today, guys, so you guys are stuck with me for the next 2 hours. But yeah, I've got the chat open here, so obviously I don't have a co-pilot for this one, so if there's any tech related issues that you guys notice, i.e. my mic starts playing up or something like that, just let me know in the chat and I'll make sure to keep checking that. Um, Similarly, if at any point I'm kind of like, I don't know, like stopping in the middle of doing something for like half a second, that just means that I'm like checking the chat, making sure that everything's okay. Good morning, Charlotte. Welcome to today's session. I'm going to change the screens here just so you guys can see me. Okie dokie. All right, hello there. I know you can probably see that the webcam is maybe a little bit smaller today. It's just because um, need to kind of make sure you guys can see the screen a little bit better. But yeah, okay. So welcome to today's session, everybody. I'll just kind of let you guys know what we're going to do today. Basically, the software that we are going to be working on today is called Hit Film Express. Okay, so it's going to be maybe slightly a tiny bit tricky at the beginning because I'm just going to run you guys through installing this software. If you've already got this software installed, then you will not have to worry. But if you don't, then I'm going to walk you guys through it. Okay, so today we are going to be using HitFilm Express. We're going to be making a photo slideshow with this software, and I'm going to teach you guys how to title, how to export on this software, how to add music to it, and how to do some very basic effects. Now, obviously, with being a video editing class, I know you might wonder, oh, why we're working with photos, but I think working with photos is very important because it's kind of it's going to mimic what it would be like to work with clips, but without having to worry about the continuity of the cut and how it cuts together. Because no matter what arrangement we put the photos in, they're relatively still going to be able to cut together because they don't have to follow any kind of narrative string or anything like that. So that is why we'll be working with photos in this session. Now, if we're going to go through a couple of different resources that you guys can use to get your own photos or to get your own music. However, if you guys did want to use the resources that I'm going to use, then they are in the description, and I'm sure they can be shared in the chat if you can't find them. But yeah, if you just look underneath the video that you are watching right now, click on the description, same place where the survey link is, and then you will see the resources there. And there you go. There's a couple of royalty-free songs and copyright-free images. Okay, guys. So if at any point you have any questions about any of the steps that I take, just put it in the chat, and I'll be sure to get round to it. It may take me a minute just because I'll need to kind of finish whatever I'm doing, but I will get around to it. And bear in mind, there's like a 30-second delay. But that's absolutely fine. Okay, so guys, the first step, don't worry if you don't have HitFilm Express already because that is something that we are going to work through together. But yes, so first step, guys, I would like you to go to HitFilm Express. So I want you to type into Google. You can do this two ways. Type into Google HitFilm Express. It's going to be the first link, and it's going to bring you up with a page like this. And then if you can't find that, or for some reason you can't get to Google, just go to the letter X, home.com and /HitFilm Express. And I want you to get this screen. So give you guys a couple of seconds to get to that, but make sure you get this HitFilm Express screen up here. And I'm just going to run you guys through very quickly how we would install it just before we get cracking on it. If you've got it installed already, that's perfectly fine. HitFilm Express, basically, guys, it says right there, if you're looking on my screen, it's a free video editing software with professional grade VFX tools. And actually, the VFX tools are pretty good in it. And we're using the free version. There is an option for a paid version, but the free version is good enough. But I actually was quite surprised at the beginning about how sophisticated some of the VFX tools and stuff are in this, and I mean obviously more so if you pay for it, if you buy the paid version. But yeah, I was quite surprised by that. So just make sure you're at this website, guys. If you have any issues getting to it, let me know. Okay, hi there, Vince, but we'll watch. It's going to go at 11 a.m. I have to go somewhere. Don't worry, it's social distance. That's totally fine, Lynn. Yeah, so if you could Google Hit Film Express, you can just see that. I'm just going to highlight that for you. And I would like you to get to this website. It'll be the first link if you type in Hit Film Express. If not, then just go to fxhome.com and it should come up. So, yeah. And tell you what, I'm going to paste the link that I've got here into the chat, so that'll make it nice and easy for you guys. And yeah, I'm not going to spend too much more time on this, so we're going to get into the nitty gritty. So make sure you follow this link, as otherwise I'm going to go ahead, guys. So yeah, once you've clicked on that, we're going to download this together. And so I would click download. I've already got it downloaded, but I'll run you through what you would do. You go to download Hit Film Express. Then you will be prompted with a screen like this. It says pay what you want. Hit Film Express may be a free product, but it takes time, experience, and money to create. And I can understand that. That's fine. I mean, you're welcome to donate if you wanted to, but don't feel guilty if you don't. Because I'm not going to, so I wouldn't worry too much. So this smiley face here, which is an interesting tool that they've got this smiley face. Like the more money you put up, the happier the face gets. I actually haven't seen what happens if you put it all the way up. Oh, it comes into love hard eyes. Does it turn into anything else? At 100 maybe? No, it's just that. Anyway, we're gonna put them right down to 0, and then it becomes a crying face. So there you go. And then they give you other kind of marketing jargon here, which is totally fine. What I want you to do is you're going to click on download next, guys. So you're going to put it all the way to 0, and then you're going to click on download. And then it's going to take you to this next screen here. Now, this is the bit that it shouldn't be a hurdle for anybody, but it may be for some people, but that's fine. I'll let you go. I'll help you out with that a little bit, guys. So basically what you need to do is put in a display name. It can be anything, absolutely anything. It's just because to use FX Home or to use Hit Film Express, which is a product by this company, FX Home, you do need to have an account, but it's totally fine because it's free to make an account. So you just put your display name. As I said, could be absolutely anything, wherever your location is. Obviously, I'm guessing it's United Kingdom if you're watching the stream. Your email address, this is probably the most important thing. Now, guys, they're going to send you the download to this, so it's absolutely crucial that you put in you like your current email address, and therefore it's also crucial that you have a working email address. Now, as I said, this may be a hurdle for some people. Like, it's obviously a free software, but you do need an email address, a working email address. If you don't have an email address, I would strongly suggest that you get one just for times like this, because it's 2020 and an email address is something that can help you in a million different ways. If you don't have one, go to learnmyway.com, go down to subjects, and then you can scroll down here, because this is a free website as well, learnmyway.com. We've looked through this together a couple times, and then you want to go down to use an email there, have a little go through that, and then you should be confident enough to set your own email address up. But for this lesson, you will need an email address, guys. So yeah, you put your email address in, and then you can put in your password, which could be anything you want, obviously, once again, and then your age as well. So you type in your age, and that's it. And then it'll say subscribe to emails, free content and prizes, and you can say yes, but I don't really think that that's going to make too much of a difference. And then you could also say no. And then after that, guys, you just click send me the Express download, and that will send the link to you. It starts sweating after 100. Okay, there you go. I didn't notice that. Morning, Matthew, mate, and morning, Sue. So yeah, guys, if you missed out that little first step there, I did paste the link to this website in the chat. I'd like you to click on that. You're going to click download. We're going to put that to 0. You're going to put in your email address and so on into there. And then you're going to click send me the Express download. Then I'm not able to show you that in the email, obviously, but what you would do is you would click on the link. It's going to send you a link in your email. It should be the last thing. Also, check your junk mail, but it shouldn't go to your junk mail. It should just go to your inbox. And then you're just going to click on that, guys, and then it'll say Express Installer. You just click on that and then you install the program. It's very, very straightforward, guys. Hopefully, it's not a problem for anybody. If anybody has an issue installing it, let me know and I'll try my best to help you out. But I'll just give you guys a couple of minutes just to install that. And then we're going to look at some online resources just while we're here on this screen that you could maybe use. As I said before, in the description of the video, we've got the resources that I'm going to be using. You're totally welcome to download those and use them along with me so we can do it at the same time. But also, if you want to get your own resources, we're going to be looking at them here as well. And also for future reference, I'm going to show you just a couple of websites you could use if you ever want to make your own photo slideshow or, download any kind of royalty-free music. So yes, okay. Okie dokie, guys. So give you guys another minute just to work through this and download it. Maybe you've already got HitFilm Express downloaded. Totally fine. And it's also fine, guys, if you don't want to do it along with me today and you just want to kind of watch the session, figure out how to do it, and then go back and do it at your own pace later. That's totally fine as well. You don't have to do it along with me. You can just kind of watch and learn, obviously, ultimately in a way, because even watching the session, you'll still be learning, but totally up to you guys. Just a bit slower to go, then go back to your email. Yeah. So yeah, it takes a little while, I think. So yeah. But yeah, there you go, guys. Take your time. Take your time. No worries at all. All right, guys. I don't want to I don't want there to be too much dead air, but like I said, take your time. I'm going to move on in a second. If you guys are still accessing the download for your email, don't worry. We're just going to kind of look at a couple of royalty-free options. If you kind of miss a little bit of this is okay because you're not going to miss any part of us working in the actual software. And I do have the resources in the description as well. But I'm just going to show you guys. I showed you guys this as well. I don't know if you guys joined my intro to Photopea or exploring Photopea session when we were working with that, but I showed you guys this website in one of the first sessions. We're just having another look at it just because it's what we're going to be using most of our images from. It is pixabay.com, guys. So it is pixabay.com. Once again, I'll write that in the chat for you guys just so you can see it. Hello, Jane. How you doing, Jane? Yeah. I'm not gonna spend too much time going back. Obviously, we may have people joining in the session. Ultimately, I don't want to spend too much time backtracking, as I think it might hinder the progress a little bit if we keep going on. But you're always welcome to rewind the video and watch back a couple of steps just to see exactly what you may have missed. So you do have that option. But yeah, we're on pixabay.com, guys. This is a great website for royalty-free images. You can get whatever you want on here. They've got like a massive archive and it's really high quality images. So this is the website that I'm going to be using for my resources today. And if you guys wanted to get any of your own resources, you're totally welcome to do so as well. So I'm going to type in Tibet here because I think Tibet's a pretty funky place. Okay, cool. So these ones at the top here, you'll notice these are sponsored images. So these are not free. So you might think, well, these ones look much better. It's probably because you have to pay for them. But that isn't to say that the ones that are free images, there you can see it's very, like, you can barely see it, but it says free images. These are free. So there you go, guys. And then you got a nice panoramic. Bear in mind that if you pick a portrait photo and then if you pick a landscape photo, when we're working with it in HitFilm Express, those two are very different pictures. So you want them ultimately to be the same or as close to being the same aspect ratio as possible, just to save yourself a bit of backache there. Okay, guys. So if we click on this one, I think this is a really cool image. Look at that, so cool. Tibet is a pretty cool place. And then you wouldn't right click on it because if you right click on it and then you click save image as, it's going to save the web file. and it's not going to save it as an image. So what you would do is you would go to free download, and then you would pick whichever one you like. I would say 1280 847 is absolutely fine, guys. However, you can do that one if you want, but it's just going to be a bit bigger. You're going to have to scale it down more because we're not going to be working with that much bigger file size. Anyway, guys, I would say, so if you want to get your own resources for this, you need roughly at least 6 to 10 images, and kind of you can get whatever you want. They don't have to be anything in particular, but maybe if there is a theme, if you wanted to do one of Tibet, you could do like a Buddhist theme or something, I'm guessing. But it's really totally up to you, but they don't have to follow any order for this particular lesson. You could really get whatever you wanted. But yeah, if you wanted to get your own resources, like I said, pixabay.com, and just download a couple of those. But like I said, guys, if you want to use the resources that I'm using, you are more than welcome to, and they are in the description. All right, just let me know at any point, guys, if you want me to slow down if I'm going too fast. Sue says she's going to work through this slowly. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, okay, so, right, that's okay, Jane. Yeah, so like I say, I know that it's going to be, this beginning bit is always going to be a little bit of a hurdle, just because there's a lot of things you have to do at first. So yes, Jane, if you, where it says Get Express Installer, you would click on that. You would just click Get Express Installer, and then it would start to install the program for you. And Sue, that's absolutely fine. You can just rewind the video at any point if anything's unclear. And you're also welcome to ask in the chat if you have any issues or anything like that, okay? But yeah, guys, so there you go, pixabay.com, and this is the image. This is the website for the images that we're going to be using, and then I'm going to show you guys a royalty-free music website, okay, guys? So I'm going to click on that there, and that is bensound.com, okay? So bensound.com, and we'll be working with a couple of songs from bensound.com today. Okay, and I'm going to paste that into the chat there as well for you guys. Okay. So while I look through this as well, guys, obviously, while I'm looking through these kind of royalty-free resources, it just gives people a little bit more time to install the program if they haven't already installed it as well. So it's like kill two birds. Yeah, and then we've got a lot of royalty-free music here. If you're ever struggling, or if you're ever looking for a bit of royalty-free music, that you're thinking about publishing something that you've made, this is a good website. They're all fairly simple and corporate, and okie dokie, I can listen to any of these. So see, these are all downloadable, and generally on bensound.com, he says that it's fine for you to use this for any work that you have, just as long as you credit him. So it's totally fine. Let's listen to A New Beginning. That should be pretty intense. Is that really loud? I'm so sorry if that's really loud. So that's fine. That one's okay. I don't know if I chose that one. I might have chose that one. Like, you've also got your genres here at the top. If not, most of these you can download, but some of them are not available to download, unfortunately. I'm gonna pick a couple more. So we've got New Beginning, and let's have a look at Happy Rock. Happy Rock might be quite cool. So you can imagine these on kind of like adverts and stuff, right? And that one sounds very, very garage bandy, but it's okay. bensound.com, yeah, that's the one, guys. But I tell you what it is as well, guys, like, these are all pretty good. If you do find one you like, you can just click the download option next to it, and then it'll come up with this window. I'm not sure if you can see this window here. Yeah, you can, good. And it says free license with attribution. So it's just what I was saying, that you just need to credit bensound.com. So if you upload it onto YouTube, you would just put bensound.com in the description and link to the website. And yeah, he's fine with you being able to use that. There's the pro license, but we don't need to worry about that for now. Okay, so I use this website quite a bit, but guys, If you've noticed that anything that I edit, I like to use a lot of lo-fi kind of sounds, like lo-fi hip hop and stuff like that. The way, and if you in the resources, I put one of those lo-fi songs in. The way that I find stuff like that, guys, is really, really simple. What I'll do is I'll type in literally like on YouTube, like free lo-fi hip hop, free lo-fi beats, free lo-fi type beats. I just type that in on YouTube. It'll come up with a bunch of different songs. You might have to go down a little rabbit hole, like looking through a couple of songs. Um, and when you find the song, look in the description, and if it says free, then in the description usually they'll have a download link, and that's the way that I find it. And usually it'll be like a link to their SoundCloud, and then you can download it from their SoundCloud. But make sure it says free, and then it specifies that you're able to use it. Um, there's a ton of other ways you can do it. You can look at lo-fi stuff on SoundCloud, and you can message the producer and stuff. But that stuff's kind of really extraneous, and it's taken a lot of time. Whereas where there's so many producers that make beats for free on YouTube just because they want more exposure for their work, and I use a lot of those. I just find free lo-fi beats on YouTube. Look at the link, see if they've got a download link, and then just use that, and then credit them if they specify that. But if they don't, then I think that it's also fine. But it's best to credit them usually. So yeah, guys, I hope that's clear for you. I hope, and yeah, a good point by here from there as well. You've also got the YouTube audio library. So every time that you're going to upload a video on YouTube, they've got the YouTube Creator Studio now, which is not, it's not as new as it was, but it's a feature in there where you can kind of do edits on your video in YouTube, and they've got like their own audio library there, and they've actually got quite a few songs, so that's also an option as well, guys, if you were wanting to kind of upload something to YouTube. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for bensound.com and pixabay.com. If you are all happy, guys, we are going to move on and actually get into the program. So let's do that, guys, because I'm conscious of the time and I don't want to spend too much on this. Yeah, so without further ado, we're actually going to go into HitFilm Express now. So guys, if you're following with me, if you've downloaded the program, that's great. If you haven't, don't worry. You always can watch the video back and, you know, go through step by step. And we're going to time code the video as well, so we'll give you like a rundown of how to use it. Okie dokie, guys. So we'll go into HitFilm Express there. And there you go, guys. Brilliant. All right. So HitFilm Express. And when you open the program, you're going to be, so once you've installed it, guys, if you can't find it in your search bar in the bottom left next to the Windows icon, or it might be the Finder if you're using a Mac, just type in HitFilm Express and it should come up. There should be the icon there, and you just click on it, provided that you've installed it, and you will be welcome with this screen. Okay, this is just their homepage, and it's got like on the left hand side it's got a bunch of kind of add-on packs and, you know, things that you can buy, because obviously this is how they make their money, obviously, with it being a free software. And they've just got kind of their online community, I guess you could call it. So when you've done that, guys, well, when you've seen that, at least you've opened the program, we are going to go to new, and then it's going to say new project settings. Now, considering that we're using photos for this is something that we don't really need to worry about too much, because we don't have any moving frames. And it's, so we've got there, the duration is about 5 minutes, but that is going to, however much your actual timeline is, it's going to snap to that. So you're not going to have a bunch of extra, like a bunch of free video on the end, blank video on the end, if it doesn't meet that. So I can leave it as 5 minutes for now. 1080p full HD. I'm going to put that down to 25 frames, even though we're not working with video, so I don't really need to do that. And we've got the aspect ratio here effectively 1920 by 1080, so that's kind of the size of your screen. And 1920 by 1080 is usually like quite wide screen. See, the frame rate there's 25, which is fine. And we've got the aspect ratio as square pixels, and you've got a bunch of different options here. So you've got wide there, you've got anamorphic wide, if that's 133, which would be like quite wide. You've got 2:1 there as well, And we're going to leave it as square pixels for now, just because we've already got 1920 1080 and we're working with photos. And as to avoid confusion too much with aspect ratios, what we're going to be using is going to be fairly widescreen there. And having that like that is not going to affect the video, guys. So we're just going to press OK on that if you've got similar settings to me. If you ever do have any issues with your aspect ratio, one way that you can counter that, guys, is, and then you can see that we've got an export window, just of the last thing that I worked on yesterday when I was just doing a little test of this. And then we're going to click on, I'm going to click on viewer there, and there we go, guys. We are in HitFilm Express. This is our empty window here, and I'm just going to run through some of the tools. So as you can see, we've got like this 1920 1080 kind of screen, nice kind of widescreen. Up, and I made it a little bit bigger, and you can make it smaller if you just scroll your mouse up and down. Yeah, put it about there. That's good. Alrighty, guys. So, how's everybody getting on? Yeah, so there you go. So Haytham put in a good resource there. It's editing in the YouTube library or downloading stuff from there as well. So that's another good resource there for you guys. Hope that you guys are sticking with me. I knew that the initial process of just kind of downloading and installing it would be a little bit tougher first, but now we're into the rhythm of things. So, okie dokie, guys. So I'm just going to kind of briefly run you through some of the things on this screen. Now, if you've used Premiere Pro before, then this will look a little bit familiar for you, because that's because the interface of HitFilm Express is quite similar, actually, to Premiere Pro, guys. So a lot of the features in HitFilm Express are actually quite similar. So you probably have used some of this stuff before, to be honest. We've got our timeline. That is where we are going to be editing the video. We're going to be doing the cut on the video there. And you've got your video track 1. You can make several tracks. So if you wanted to insert track there, it would put a video track 2, which you may need at some point if you wanted to lay a video on top of another video, or if you wanted to do a color mat, which is something we can look at in the future. There's a lot of times when I'm working with transitions in Premiere, I usually have like 2, 3, maybe 4 sometimes tracks, but we just got the 1 track for now. We've got 1 video track and we've got 1 audio track. Obviously, as it says, the audio track is going to go there and the video track is going to go there. I'm going to show you a little bit more of that in a second. This black box here on the right is our viewer, which is where we're going to have our previews of what we are working on. And we have the kind of media library in the bottom left here, but that also has the effects, the controls, the history, and so on. And then in the top left here, this blank gray box is going to be our trimmer, which is where our files are ultimately going to be in here. Now, guys, we're going to import our resources. Okay, so guys, I would go to the bottom left here. There's 2 ways you can do this, guys. You could either open up your resources and you could just select them and drag them into this little box in the bottom left, and they should all go in nicely, and it shouldn't be an issue at all. But if not, you would click on import here in the bottom left next to templates, and it's going to pop up with this window, and it's got video editing lesson 1 resources, which is which is the resources I've got. But we're in songs here, so I'm just going to take a step back. And yeah, just press on that one there. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to take a step back there, guys. And here is all of my pictures, guys. If you did download the resources, they should just be in your downloads folder in the last thing downloaded. And there you go. You should have that box there. And we've got a few nice pictures there. I don't know if that's popping up on your screen because it might be seen as a separate window. Yeah, so you guys can't see it yet, but that's absolutely fine. Because I'm going to run through how to do that. So what I would do is I'd highlight all of these. Yeah, highlight all these pictures, and I would just press open, and then bang. Now you guys can definitely see that. So just to run you through that again, because obviously there might have been a little bit that you missed there, just because when I'm recording my window here, it's not showing any other windows that pop up, which is not going to be an issue because that's going to be the only time that would be a problem. the window where I created the settings wasn't there. So you show you the project settings again. Yeah, so for the project settings, guys, when you go to File and New, you will get, it says this project has been modified. I can show you again because we haven't really done anything here. Yeah, it would come up here. So the windows probably might not pop up there for you. So literally, guys, I'll tell you exactly what to do, but the window may not pop up just when we're doing a window capture of this. Like I said, this would only happen maybe once or twice just because um, they're going to be the only windows that pop up. So what you would do, guys, is you would go to File and New, and I could say just discard of that, and you would get a window here that comes up and it says Project Settings. If this is the first time you're using it, then you would just click New, and the project settings would come up automatically. I know that you can't see what I'm looking at here, but I'll tell you exactly what will be on the screen there. You're gonna have new project settings. You have the top window which says Editor. That should be 1080 Full HD 25 frames, and then you should have duration, which can be 5 minutes there. Underneath that, you have a thing that says video, and then that'll be a 1920 by 1080, so that's going to be widescreen. By the way, guys, just so you know, these should already be the default settings, so you don't have to actually change anything in it. Frame rate, which will be 30, and then underneath that it says aspect ratio, which square pixels is fine for now, just with what we're working with. And then audio, it's the sample rate is 400 hertz, 448,000 hertz, and you can just click OK on that, and you should have this little box here. Okay. Yeah, so then it came up with this new folder here. So yeah, like I say, guys, let me know if you have any issues, and we'll try our best to troubleshoot it. Installing it now, a bit behind. Yeah, that's fine, Jane. Like I say, if at any point you need to go back, then that's absolutely fine. Downloads playing up. No bother and look later. I agree that Dan should get on with it. That's clear. We can all watch back. Thank you. Well, yeah, Lynn. At any point, if you get stuck or anything, you're welcome to email me, and you can. I'll try my best to run through it with you as well. But yeah, that you can always watch it back as well, guys. But I am here to help troubleshoot as well. So yeah, guys. Once you've got your sequence settings set up, then you are welcome to run to the left. Go to import, and you should have this folder here, guys. And then you can just kind of highlight all of them, and you can press open. Yeah, so you're looking at going into your video editing, lesson 1 resources, and then you're just going to import them all. And there you go, guys. Then all of your pictures should be in the bottom left here. And you can kind of click through and you can just see exactly what you've got. Now this folder on this bin here on the left, or everything that's in there is going to be, that's just kind of stuff that you're looking at. That's not in your timeline yet. We haven't dragged that into a timeline just yet, but these are going to be the pictures that we used. So if you downloaded my resources, you should have these pictures as well. And it's just a couple of cool pictures, and I found all of these pictures on pixabay.com. So there you go, guys. Yeah. Let me know, guys. I want to let you know that obviously we're doing a window capture for this because it seems like the most effective way. If at any point you're really struggling getting your sequence settings on, or if you're really struggling importing it, because obviously I know you couldn't see my screen when that was doing it, but I tried to run through it verbally, then I can put a display capture on and we can run through that exact process. But should be fairly straightforward, guys. But if you do need help with that, don't let me know. Don't let me know. Just let me know, and I'll run through that with you guys. But if not, we're going to kind of soldier on and go step by step. Okay, guys, yeah, so then I've got my images imported here, and they're in the bottom left. I haven't yet put them onto my timeline, and you can kind of see the size here underneath the image, and it says exactly how big it is. So a lot of these images are the same size. So obviously we put our window is 1080 1920, 1920 1080, and you can see here that this is 1920 1276, 1920 1280. So and this one's 1920 1080, so that one should fit perfectly. If it doesn't fit your image, don't worry, because we're going to kind of look at a few ways of how you can kind of fix that. So that's totally fine. Um, and yeah, if you want to know what any of these places are, then I can tell you like all of them, I think, because are more or less. Yeah, they all look really nice. Okie dokie, guys. Yeah, so if you may have to resize some of these, but that's totally fine. So once you've got that, we're going to put the music in as well. So I'm just going to go back to import, and then the folder, if you need downloads, if you're in video editing, lesson 1 resources, there's songs here, guys, and you would just click on your songs and highlight them. You select them, so you would left click, and then you would hold that and press open, and then the free songs should come in, and then we've got our free songs as well. So we've got our songs and images in our bin. Let me know how you're getting on, guys. Is this clear here? If it's not clear, don't worry, because we'll go through step by step. Honestly, don't mind going back and kind of retracing our steps. Totally fine to do that, guys. So just let me know that you guys are keeping up, because I know the video editing stuff at times. So don't worry about it. And if this is going over your head at all, or any of it, you're thinking, well, this looks a bit heavy, don't worry about it, guys. Just take your own time, and it's something that everybody can do. I'm confident that everybody watching can do this and do it effectively. It's just a matter of time. So yeah, we have our window here, and obviously if my webcam is like kind of covering anything up, just let me know as well, or if the bar is. Yeah, we've got our trimmer there, and then we've got our pictures. I'm going to kind of drag the pictures into our timeline now, guys. So yeah, we're going to put all of those pictures in. So I'm going to do it step by step. So you would literally left click on the picture in the trimmer here, and you would just drag it on the video one there. And there you go. So that one is in. I'm going to drag one more in, and then we're going to highlight all of the rest of the ones. So you just left click on it, and then you left click and drag right, and you would drag it side by side, and then bam. So there's our second image. This is your scrubber here, this little bar. Like if you left click and hold this bar, it's your scrubber. So that scrubs from clip to clip. And as you can see, this clip here is, or this picture we could say, because it's not really a clip because there's no video, is much smaller than that one. Like the size different, it's massive. But don't worry, because we're going to scale all of that up. And I'm going to show you a few ways of how we can do that. But yeah, there you go, guys. Our little scrubber. And we can see the duration of each of these clips as well, guys. So let's have a little look. I'm just going to play that. I think they're about they're 5 seconds long each. Yeah. So each of them should be uniform 5 seconds. There you go, guys. So they're 5 seconds each. And you can see the left-hand side here, you've got your time codes. If I click in there, that's how much your video, that's the duration of your video in total. So our full video is 10 seconds and 0.1 millisecond long. And that's because we literally have two 5-second photographs in there, guys. And one's obviously smaller than the other, one's bigger. And then I'm going to put the rest of our pictures in there. Okay, so how's everybody with the download? Because I know that was probably the bit that people would struggle with this morning. Has everyone managed to download it? Yeah, so you make your account on it, you download it, and then you just click on the installer. Hello, Gary, mate. How you doing, bud? Gary, if you want to kind of join in today, we're going to download HitFilm Express. If you scroll up the chat window a bit, bud, you will see that there is a download option for HitFilm Express. And then you just click on that, mate, and you go to new, and you can download it. So yeah, and then you can crack on with this as well. And like I say, HitFilm Express, very similar to Premiere Pro in a lot of aspects, and it's pretty good program to use. All right, guys. So next, I'm gonna open up our next few images there. So yeah, I'm gonna click on we've got the Yunnan province one there. Left click on that. I'm gonna hold Shift, and then I'm gonna click on the third one, and then so you can see that highlights it. So holding Shift and clicking on the next few down, that helps you to highlight however many images that you want. So I've highlighted 3 here. I'm just going to drag them straight into my timeline there, guys. Bang, whack that right in. And there you go. We've got a couple more. That's a beautiful shot. That's actually called it's called like the window to the sky or something, and it's in Yunnan. And I had a friend who went there quite recently, and it looks amazing. It honestly looks unbelievable. And it's because they have such amazing blue skies there, and that's actually in China, believe it or not, in one of the very, very deep south capitals on the border of Vietnam called Yunnan. And it's a really, really, really cool place. And then straight into that, so we've got that shot of Osaka. We've got two shots of Osaka, I think. And there's another one there. So there's two shots in Japan. You got that nice kind of neon glow in Japan there as well. So variety. Um, we've got 5 images in there. We've got a couple more, and I'm going to drag the rest in as well. So I literally left click on it. It opens it up in the trimmer there, and then I hold shift and then select the bottom one there, and we just drag it right into our timeline. Make sure it's not going to overlap, because if it overlaps, it's going to cut part of that video out. So you want to get it all on, so they're all kind of on top of each other. And there you go. Voila. Absolutely gorgeous, guys. So we've got 10 images in total there, because I had 10 of the resources. Guys, you will have all of these images if you download the resources. They are in the description, and they are free and available for you guys to use. So you hear me 2 times. Right. I'm not sure if that's something to do with the microphone. Is everyone else getting like reverb on my voice? Because I'll try my best to kind of fix that if so. Might be, yeah, I'm not too sure actually, Gary. I'll have to have a look at that. But yeah, thanks for letting me know, Gary Bud. And I'll try to fix that. Okie dokie, guys. So there you go. How's everybody getting on? Is everybody managing? We've got our trimmer on the left. So the trimmer is not what is going to be shown. The trimmer is literally just what you can see, whereas this one on the right, that is your viewer. Okay, so the trimmer is just in the box. It's not in your timeline. That's like what you view before you put in, and this one on the right is your viewer. That is what you would use. That's what you would. That's what is in your timeline. That's what is going to be in your video, in your final product. And once again, guys, we've got our scrubber here, so that shows you how long your images is. Each of these are default at 5 seconds a piece, so per image it's 5 seconds. And you can see that some of them already fit, so we're being quite lucky, but then some of them don't. And we're going to resize that, and I am going to show you how you would resize an image on HitFilm Express. And don't worry, guys, if you struggle at any point, because I'm going to kind of walk you through that. So, okay, you can see here we've got, it's another shot of Yunnan. I'm actually going to, if I wanted to change any of the, what I want to do is I want to make the shots of Yunnan together. I want to put the shots of Japan together. I want to put the shots of Naples together. And you can see that they're kind of jumbled at the moment. So I would show you how I would rearrange a sequence, okay? And we're going to have a look at that. Or rearrange a few clips. Fixed it with an F5 on my side. Okay, fair enough, mate. But that happens. Yeah, it's fine for you guys. Okay, that's perfect. Good stuff. All right. Perfect. So yeah, see, we're cooking with gas now. I knew that the opening part where we download it might be a bit tricky for some people. Once you downloaded it once, you don't need to download it again. So when it's done, it's done, and then we can crack on and we can learn some video editing together, guys. Alrighty, so I'm going to switch some of this stuff around here. So I'm just going to move. So it's literally to move a clip, guys. You would just left click it and drag it, and it's that simple. And if you move it up, it's probably going to create a new video track. It will definitely create a new video track, but we don't need. We're going to work on one track just for now, without getting ahead of ourselves. And I'm going to highlight a couple of these just to kind of move it around. So yeah, don't want to kind of resize anything. There you go. All right, so I'm just going to left click in a blank space, and I'm going to select 2 clips here. Let's do 3 actually. Yeah. Okay, just to drag that a little bit to the side there, and I'm going to stretch that one out, and I'm going to put. So literally, it's just drag and drop basically, guys. So if you've got a mouse, it should be nice and fine. If not, you can still do it with a trackpad. You just drag in and drop in, and this is just changing the order of our clips in the sequence. So I want the clips, I want all of the countries to be kind of aligned. So I want to have some kind of consistency, even though we're only working with pictures. And that's how we're going to do it, guys. Yeah, so I'm going to put this shot of Venice next to the shot of Naples. And there you go. Bam. So we've got two shots there. The shots of Japan are together. The shots of the Azores are together. This one of Yunnan is not with the other shot of Yunnan. So I'm going to select these four. So by doing that, I'm literally just left clicking on this space above Japan, dragging and selecting these four clips. I'm moving it slightly right by just left clicking and dragging right. That's still not enough space. So I'm going to do it again and then drag right. One more time there, guys. Alrighty there. And there we've left up a big space there for us to drag this terrace to there. And I'm going to show you a little trick here, guys, a little bit of magic. Then you've got two shots of Tibet together as well, and now it's looking nice. All right, so there they are all in order. So that kind of helps my OCD a tiny bit. What we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to show you a little shortcut here. We're not going to look at too many shortcuts just because I know that it might be a bit overwhelming at first. But I'm going to show you a little quick tip here, which will help a lot when you're editing. Whenever you have a blank space here and you've got a series of clips together that you want to stick together, you can right click on that blank space in the timeline, and then it comes up with this list here. Can you see that list, guys? If not, I tell you what I might do. If we need that up, I might just switch this to like a display so you can see it a bit better. I tell you what, I might have to do that. But you get a little window when you right click, it comes up and it says ripple delete gap. I tell you what, guys, I'm going to switch this to a screen record, okay? Because I think that's going to be easier for you guys. So just bear with me. Okay. But the only issue is, right, so the only issue is I'm not going to be able to check the chat in screen record if I'm on a display capture. So it's like finding what's the best. Let me know, guys, if you think that I should switch to a display capture. I'm not going to be able to check the chat as much, but we'll be able to see kind of some of the options pop up because I can't do that. It's just because obviously on this window capture, we can't see when certain screens pop up. So let me know which one you prefer. Either way, I'll tell you exactly what it is that I'm talking about. If you right click, you get a little box here. So if I right click in this window, you get a little box pop up and it says transform, select all, scroll to play ahead, and ripple delete gap is one of them. So if you click on ripple delete gap when you've right clicked, then it'll snap stuff together. So there you go, bang. That's what happens there. Nice and easy, guys. And then once again there, so I'm going to right click and then I'm going to press ripple delete gap. So yeah, although you can't maybe see that box, it's just if you're right clicking in that space, comes up ripple delete gap, and there you go. Perfect, guys. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to resize images, okay? So let's have a little look, okay? All right. Yeah, so to resize an image, we would left click on the image, comes up with this box here. And once you get this window, it's just a case of stretching it. So there's two ways you can do this, okay? One is to stretch it like that. You could literally just left click and drag, and you could get it to fill the window like that, but it's a little bit less precise. Okay, but it still works. There you go. Brilliant. So that kind of works, right? Maybe I've lost a little bit of the image there. It's kind of maybe outside of a little bit. So what I can do to kind of fix that is I just right click on it. And once you right click in the top here, you've got an option that says transform. And then you are just going to press fit to frame. Okay, so you just right click and then fit to frame. Bam. And then it sticks. You can see, I don't know if you can tell that that's changed a little bit, but it has. Let's see. Okay. All right. Cool. Right. Yeah. So you reckon I should switch? I should switch to a display capture then. Okay. Right. So guys, I'm going to switch to display capture just so you can kind of see some of these windows when they pop up, because obviously they're not popping up on a window capture. I might have to cut to a break screen just for like 2 seconds while I set it up, but it should be okay. Okay. Just might be a little bit easier for you guys because I think that although you can see and hear what I'm doing, um, I think that you can't see some of the pop-up windows, and I think it would be better for you guys if you could see those. So yeah, I'm just going to switch to display capture, and I'll keep an eye on my phone just so I can see if there's any kind of mistakes or anything, just because I don't want you guys to miss out on anything, that's all. All right, give me a second, guys. Just going to switch to a break screen for like literally 2.8 seconds while I just switch this over. Okay. All right. All right, and never done this right. It's a nice, huge webcam there. So hello, guys. All right. This is you see in behind the scenes action here, guys. So it's a little gift for you. All right, I'm gonna make that nice and small if that's on the top. Yeah. Okie dokie. Right. Give me 2 seconds, guys. This is like really, this is really thinking on the break here. So okay. Okay, right, there we go. I think now we're laughing, okay? Yeah. All right. So there you go. Right, I think that is that better at all for everybody. I'm not going to be able to look at the chat as much now, just because it's going to come up as well, and then it would look a bit messy if you guys can see the chat and then the chat's in a separate window. But I think that might be a little bit easier for you guys to kind of see what I'm talking about, just because that way we can kind of see when stuff actually pops up. So if you look, hold on. Let's have a look. Yeah, so you guys will be able to see that now, right? And that's much easier for everybody, I'm guessing. So what I talked about, that ripple delete, I'll just go back through that option again. And yeah, I've got my phone on me, guys. So if here from my Dan, if you guys need to text me at any point, just let me know. All right, so yeah, so what I meant there was literally this, guys. You just right click in this blank space, and then you have a thing that comes up. It says ripple delete gap. You would just left click on that, and it would click for you. So there you go. It's much easier, right, guys? I'm gonna run through a couple of the steps very quickly that we may have missed, just or not missed, but like you couldn't see the window, so it'll probably help. So what I talked about your sequence settings, it's literally just you go to File, New, and I'm gonna save this for now. So yeah, and so we can call this test 2 and find and save it on my desktop. Okay, and there, so it comes up with your sequence settings. I'm gonna click cancel on that because obviously I want to keep the same thing that I'm working on. And yeah, you go to File, Full HD. You got your editor here, so Full HD is fine, 30 frames a second. It doesn't really matter, like I say, because all of this is not going to matter when you're working with pictures. And yeah, it says duration 5 minutes, which is fine because it's not actually going to be 5 minutes. It's going to be however long your piece is, so that's totally fine. So for now, it'll be about a minute probably. You've got 25 frames a second. Our aspect ratio is 1920, 1080, and that is how big that window is there that you can see on the right hand side. And we have square pixels for our aspect ratio. You can change that to widescreen. You can change that to anamorphic. But it doesn't really work it doesn't really matter when we work with pictures, so we can leave it as square pixels to avoid confusion for now. And it's not going to change anything on there. And then you've got 48,000 hertz for your sample audio, and we're only using music, so once again, stuff that we don't need to worry about at this point. Okay, guys. So then you can click OK. Oh, I shouldn't have clicked OK because it's gonna redo my sequence, but it's okay because we didn't make any changes there. All right, guys. So then we're back, and you're gonna get to see me run through quickly that beginning step again. So, but we'll only take a second on it. So yeah, first thing you would do is you'd go to your left here, you'd go to import, and downloads. Once you clicked on downloads, you go to video, lesson editing, lesson one resources, and then I would hold shift, left click, and then press open. And there you go, guys. It brings in all of our files. Going to do the same for the music there. And you would just double click on songs. And yeah, there you would go, open. And it brings the songs in. Perfect. Now I'm just going to whiz through putting these back in because don't want to spend too much time on it. So yeah, just left click and you drag those two in. They go into our timeline. Once again, we're going to resize that in a second. And you're going to be able to see how to resize it because now we can see the pop-up window, so it's nice and easy. Then I'm going to drag the Japan ones in. So we've got that continuity that we're talking about. Just left click, shift, drag, there you go. And then we are going to do one for Naples, and then we're going to get the Venice one in as well. Brilliant, guys. And then the two of Yuna. So we'll do the two Tibet ones actually. So yeah, we've got Tibet, put that there. Nice temple of Tibet as well, put that in. Okie dokie. Alright, let's have a little look. Still got Yunnan to put in, right? Yeah, so whack that one in. It's literally just drag and drop, guys. So it's just left click on the little window and you just drag and drop stuff in. And then that one as well. Alrighty, so there is our window. And if we use our scrub, you see this option on the bottom left here, guys, that is kind of like it's like a big mountain and then a small mountain. That is your timeline scale. So that's how big or how small we can see stuff on a timeline. And it's not actually making the duration any longer. It's simply extending how much you can see. It's literally magnifying your timeline. That's the best way to put it. And when you do that, it makes it easier when you're working on like clips. So if you want to cut something like in the space of like half a second or a second, maximizing or minimizing your timeline like that is pretty much essential. It's going to be what you need. And I'm going to resize this one because I remember that we needed that. So I've made my timeline a little bit bigger. I'm going to left click on this once again. And like I said, you could just left click and you could stretch like that. Or otherwise you can right click and you can go to transform there, guys, and fit to frame. Yeah, so you can go to transform and fit to frame there, and that, bam, absolutely cracking there, guys. So that just snaps it to frame, and you can have a nice kind of full image there. And if we scrape along, then we've got our second clip of the Azores. The Azores, right? 10 points to anyone who can tell me where that is. If you know what country that is, I'll be very surprised because it's a bit of a rare gem there. You go into Japan. We've got 2 shots of Osaka. Everything is 5 seconds long. As you said, we can double check our timeline just to confirm. Yeah, 26 seconds we're at now. And then Venice, Burano, the Rainbow Village, and then we've got our shots of Tibet, and more or less everything is right about the same size. So, okay, guys, one more that we need to resize. So now we know that if I left click and I want to stretch it, I can just drag from these corners here. And if you hold shift, it's not going to stretch your image as well. Very similar to like Photopea or Photoshop. But if we wanted to do it nice, quick, and easy, we would right click and we would go to transform, fit to frame. There you go, guys. So perfect. Now we should all be here. And our clip in total with 10 pictures, each 5 seconds. It lasted about a minute. Okay, guys, but if we did ever want to make a clip longer or shorter, it's very simple how we would do that. We would just drag our clip wherever we want to. You would just select at your sides here, and you would literally just like hold left click and just drag, and then you can see how much duration it's like putting your clip up by. So it's like dragging it by however long, yeah, 3 seconds. But if you wanted it to be back to what it was, you would just literally put it in the same place it was before, and it will just snap back to the same time. So that is a quick way that you can add duration, and it's also a quick way to decrease duration because you can just put it left and you can kind of just minimize the duration. You can see on your screen there, it's telling you how much it's reducing it by. Um, and that's a good way to kind of easily adjust duration, okay? Also, if you wanted to, and then once again, I've got my ripple delete, so I just click in this blank box, right click, left click ripple delete gap, snaps it back. Now, if you can see, when we put stuff here, it's like a snap in motion. And the reason for that, guys, is because we have a thing called snapping on. And snapping simply just snaps your clips together when they're close enough to be snapped. The way that you would do that is you look at the bottom left here, you've got this magnifying glass, and the shortcut for that is Shift S, but we're not going to look at shortcuts too much today because it's a little bit much to remember. But you can just click that on or off. So if I click snapping off there, if I click my little magnifying glass off, then you can see that it's, yeah, it doesn't snap anymore. So that can be better if it's snapping on a bit, like if you really want to get like a certain tiny bit of the image on, like if especially if it's a video, then snapping can sometimes be a bit of a pain if it's like snapping onto a point you don't want it to. But for the most time, I would leave that on, especially when you're working with something like pictures. But in the future, it's a good one to bear in mind because there's times where I'm like, why does that keep doing that? And you need to literally just turn snapping off, and there you go. I'm going to show you guys the razor tool very quickly. The razor tool is the slice tool, which is C. So this is very similar to Premiere in a way. C gets the slice tool and V gets the pointer. So C and V is like two tools which are an editor's best friend, and you'll be using these all the time. A little bit of trivia here, guys, for you. Does anybody know why it is a razor? Like, does anybody know the reason for it being a razor? I can tell you guys. Yeah, so basically the reason for that, guys, is that if it's a razor, then well, sorry. So I was reading a message there because I wanted to check that like everything was running smoothly, and I just kind of lost my track of it. But basically, the reason that it is a razor is because years ago when they were cutting film, like when they would cut celluloid film, they way that they would edit is they obviously didn't have like an edit suite. They didn't have like state of the art technology. What it was literally big rolls of film, and they would use a razor to cut it, and then they would stick it together. So it's a razor icon on most editing software, or pretty much all editing software, because it is a kind of throwback to when they would actually cut celluloid film and they would use a razor then. So there you go, guys. Nice, interesting bit of trivia for you there. I have never ever edited a film in that way, but I would love to give it a try, and I would probably fail pretty horribly. But like, there's so many like little tricks, like the way that they would do like a fade transition and stuff. Like they would do that by hand. It's so crazy, like to even think about it now. And they had the capacity to do that. Really, really interesting stuff. But yeah, guys, I would love to try that one time. I don't even know if you could get that done in England. The interesting thing now is I think there's about maybe one or two like actual film studios in England that still edit and cut film, other than people that do it off their own back, but like that's like few and far between. So there you go, guys. A little brief, little interesting tangent for you there. Okay, so our sequence is a minute. If you did ever if you were working with a clip, guys, and you wanted to adjust the speed or the duration, then the way you would do that, guys, is you would literally right click, as we have been doing, and then there is an option there which is speed duration. We're at 100% now, and we're also at 6 seconds duration. I think that I must have maybe put that a second up when I was playing around with it, so we put that back down to 5 seconds. And then it goes to 120 times. Okay, that's okay. Anyway, so if you wanted to speed something up, like if you wanted to do kind of like a fast forward kind of effect, you could put this, or which if you've watched any of the stream highlights recently, you'll notice that there's a lot of time lapses, like very quick kind of time lapses. And the way that that is achieved is literally you get like, so this is another tip as well. This is like it's a basic tip that looks really good. If you are shooting vox pops or something, vox pops are like kind of just interviewing people on the street, and you want to kind of create that effect, like that, this passage of time. It's like a time lapse when you see, probably you've seen it on the news before, when there's just a bunch of people walking around really fast, and it looks like hours are going by. The way that you achieve that is you would literally, there's a time lapse feature on a lot of cameras, but you could literally film for like an hour, 20 minutes, even 20 minutes, depending on what kind of effect you want. And just leave the camera there, film. You take it back into the edit suite, and you literally just one thing I would do as a little tip is I take the audio track out, because when you got the audio track in, it can like that file can kind of corrupt because it's like so much audio has been like sped up, and it can really like. So I would delete your audio track, and then I would speed up the video by like 2000 or something, and then you would have a nice time lapse effects, and that is kind of a little bit like how I do the stream highlights with the time lapses of the image editing. Okay, so guys, if I wanted to put it 200, you'd see it goes to 2000, it goes to 0.08 of a second, which we wouldn't even be able to view that with our eyes. But if you also wanted to do slow motion is an effect that a lot of people like. Um, so the way we get slow motion usually is we put it down to about 50%, 40%. If obviously when we're working on, this is something that we'll look at in another lesson as well, but when you're working on an image, it's not going to make a difference, because you can't, static image is not going to change in slow motion or not. But yeah, that's something to think about there, guys. The way you would shoot that on a camera, though, if you're using like a digital camera, you'd want to put your frame rate slightly higher. So you'd want to put your frames per second, sorry, slightly higher. So you'd want to shoot maybe 50, 60 frames per second, because then when you slow down, there's more frames to kind of work with. There's more frames to be slowed down. So that's just a little tip for you there. So I'm just going to click cancel on that, because we don't need to change the speed or duration of that, but it's just something that is maybe a little bit interesting for you guys. Okay, so I'm pretty happy. I've got my sequences here. What could I do next to make this a little bit better? Well, I'll tell you what I can do. We can add some music, guys, and that's what we're going to put in next. Yeah, my apologies that I'm unable to interact with the chat now, but I'm sure that Dan and Haytham have got it covered, so don't worry about that. Okie dokie, guys. So here are the two Bensound tracks that I've got. We don't need to use them really, because we can try them. Let's try one of the Bensound tracks. Okay, New Beginner was one of the ones I listened to. Okay, let's try Better Days. I'm sure this is going to be a little bit loud. Post rock, right? It's like quite post rocky, a little bit too loud. So if you look at this line here, guys, like that runs along, what you can do is you can slowly bring that down, and it's gonna lower the volume. So literally this white line here, just left click and drag up or down, and it makes it less or more noisy. So here we go. So yeah, it's nicer, much nicer now. It's not like as offensive to the ears. Also, it's difficult for me to gauge how loud it is for you sometimes, because sometimes I put some music on and it's not that loud through my headphones, but for you guys, it's like the loudest thing ever. So let me know, scream into the chat if it's too loud. But I'm not going to use this one. This, you guys are welcome to if you downloaded this one. New Beginning is the post rock one. Well, it's actually, yeah, it's also a post rock. No, it's not. It's like a pop rock one. That one we listened to at the beginning of the session, if you remember. We also have a lo-fi type beat, which is the trademark Daniel / Media Savvy kind of video sound, and just general. I think most people use these ones on YouTube and alike. It's kind of the MO at the moment. So let's have a little listen to that, okay? Okay, I literally just did a step there in autopilot, and I didn't even tell you guys what I was doing, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I just did. So, all right, we're going to you just left click on the lo-fi type beat, drag it into your audio file, your audio mixer here, or your audio track, and it's going to come up there, and it's obviously much longer than our actual timeline. So what you're going to do is you go right to the very far right, and as I showed you guys before, there's two ways we can do this. I haven't showed you how to use the razor that much yet, so if we click on the slice tool, the razor, if you remember when I was talking about that, you go to the end of your video track here, just where it ends. And obviously we've got snapping on, so it clicks there for us, which is a really handy tool. It goes to the end of each clip, so that is so handy. You find the end of your audio file here, and you can just left click, and you can see that it cuts it. So it's basically cut that file into. So now if I wanted to put that file, the other half of that file somewhere else, I've got it there, and that's absolutely awesome. This is particularly handy when you are cutting like film or you're cutting a video, because sometimes you want to kind of get an exact, you want it to end on a certain frame, and you need to cut it exactly so it's going to end on that frame. And sometimes dragging the like kind of bar is not going to be precise enough, and the most precise option is going to be to use the razor. So there you go. And then if I remember, it's C and V. So C for the razor, V for your pointer, and then I can left click on the part that I don't need, and I can just press delete, and then we've got our lo-fi beat there. So guys, we are going to have a little look at that. I'm just going to catch up. I'm just going to see if I've got any messages saying that the world is ending or anything like that, but I don't think so. Yeah, I think we're all systems go at the moment, guys. So I'm going to prod on. Yeah, so let's check out our lo-fi type beat. Let's have a little listen to what it sounds like. I really like stuff like this. Even though, like for me, when I'm like doing whatever, studying or whatever, I always listen to stuff like this anyway. So, and I think that it's really, for me, like whatever your project is, generally, unless it's a music video, like the music is not the key feature. Like, you want the music to complement what people are seeing. You don't want it to be a key feature. So generally, um, depending on most of the time, you're not going to want to rely on your music too much. There's certain instances where if you cut in a film together, sometimes the film gets carried through the score. Like the score is such a key feature of the film. Like if you think about something like if you watch a John Carpenter film, his score is so integral to his movie. Like the pace of the movie, the rhythm of the movie is sometimes dictated by the score. Um, but I think in most cases, if you're doing any kind of corporate videos, like little videos, you want the music to just be like a little bit of background. We call it a bed, so it's called a bed of music, and it's literally because sometimes when you're watching a video, it's a bit dry. It can be like the sound can feel a little bit bare, so you put a bed in, like a little music track, and it just kind of softens it a bit. Um, but yeah, so that's why I think lo-fi kind of stuff, it's quite good to kind of complement um a lot of videos. And if it's something like a video slideshow like what we're working on here, it can be dependent on the theme as well. So for example, if you are making a slideshow for your grandparents, right? If you've got this is because one of our students actually had this, Charlotte, if she's still in the chat, and I think that it's such an amazing project. But and it's a really great idea, guys. So what we're doing here is we're doing some nice landscapes, but you could really do a video slideshow of anything. So if you wanted to do one of any relatives or family members, if you had like an old scrapbook and you had some photos, you could scan those photos, make it into a video slideshow, and it's a really nice way to kind of give them a gift. Um, but for that, you could put like a song that they like. So if you knew what their favorite song was, you could put that underneath while the pictures play, and it would be perfect. So yeah, guys, you feel free to be a bit creative with that, but I've turned it down a little bit to like 22. Generally, when I'm doing the stream highlights, I usually put stuff on -20. -20 is usually the go-to. However, if there's a part which doesn't have any audio, I will boost the sound for that. And the way I do that is C and V, just cut out the part that I don't need, or cut out the part that I want to make louder. Okay, so let's have a little listen to that now. I like it. It's very chill. It's inoffensive. All you need for something like that. Okay, so next step, guys, is we're gonna put like some minor effects in. We're gonna put like a little fade in it, just to make it kind of come in a bit gentler. Okay, so if you go to effects, there we've got media. Second bin, we have effects. So here we've got a huge list of effects, and this is where you kind of really get an understanding of how the VFX aspect of Hit Film Express is quite like it's something that they really thrive at. And I know that it's even like if this is a good software, like regardless, but I think that for the VFX aspect, it's really quite they've invested a lot into it. Um, so you kind of see, and we'll do one of the things that we're going to finish on is doing some titles. You'll see when I do the titles that that aspect to it is also kind of so it's like it feels a bit like After Effects if you've ever used After Effects. Okie dokie, guys. So let's see. We're looking for video transitions. There we go, transitions video. And we'll go down to transitions video. So you're going to click effects, your left hand side, go to transitions video, and then let's, yep, and then we go to dissolve. All good. And then we're going to go to cross dissolve, and I'm going to put that at the front of my video. So yeah, you go to transitions video, press down, go to dissolve, and then we're going to go to cross dissolve. Okay dokie. And you put that at the front of your video. Okay, so I'm going to show you that one more time if it was a little bit unclear. Transition, you go to effects, down to transition, down to video effects, transitions, video, down to dissolve, you press the down arrow on dissolve, cross dissolve, and then you just drag it to the front of your image. And then if we press play, we've got a nice fade in there. Now, if you think, okay, that fades in a little bit too quick or a little bit too slow, once again, we've got our little timeline scale. We can see that it's all the way to the end. I can just maximize that a tiny bit, and then you can see how big the actual effect is there. Okay, so you can make it a little bit longer if you want. You just right click, well, no, sorry, you left click on that and just drag, and it's that simple, guys. So I'm just making it a bit bigger because I want like a nice, like dramatic fade in. So we're gonna press that. There you go, nice slow fade in. Look nice. I like that a lot more. And then we're gonna do the same with the audio. So we're just gonna drag that a little bit along there, and okie dokie, we're going to find the transitions audio there. So, yep, transitions audio. Same again, guys. And you go down to dissolve and cross dissolve once again. We're going to drag that in and we're just going to put it on our audio track. Yeah, I feel like we're not getting the front of the clip. That should just go straight on. Let's try additive dissolve. Oh, it's because I'm still in video. I was thinking like this really should be working. Yeah, so make sure that you press audio because audio and video right next to each other obviously look very similar. And then yeah, so transitions audio and straight into crossfade. Yes, guys, and that's, yeah, then it works perfect. Okay, so yeah, make sure you don't get those two mixed up. And I think I want the duration of that to be about the same roughly. Okie dokie. So yep, I'm gonna put that there. So roughly about the same. Doesn't matter if it's slightly off because you're not going to be able to tell that at all. All right, guys, and then if we press play, then our audio should fade in and our video should also fade in. There we go. Yeah, quite nice, right? Not too shabby. Yes, and next we are going to put that at the end as well. So we want it to fade in and we want it to fade out. Okay, so that is the next step that we are going to do, guys. We're going to fade it out. So just literally same again. And then that is going to be a nice way to finish it also. So if we go, so audio crossfade, I'm just going to drag that to the end. Bang, yep. And then I'm going to do the same with my rice terrace on the video transitions. So it's literally just down there. Back to dissolve and then cross dissolve. Okay, perfect, guys. Yeah, and I feel like I want a kind of bit of a bigger one for both of those, for just slightly. Yeah, about there. About there. So like you can do stuff like to make sure it's frame by frame exact, but I feel like generally when you edit in, it's you can eyeball it when you get the hang of it, because no one's ever going to be like, hold on a second, that's like the audio fades like one frame, or it's like half a second shorter than the cross dissolve. It's like no one would ever say that. So don't worry too much about it being too precise. But yeah, we've got a nice fade in there and we've got a nice fade out. So I think that's pretty nice. We could add cross dissolves or a similar effect to the actual slides here. That might be something we'll look at in a second. But for now, I think we're going to make a title, because the title is maybe the most complicated aspect of what we're doing here. So let's have a little look at that then, guys. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all of this. So once again, you press left click, and yeah, you're going to select it all. Hold on, I'll do that again. There we go. So yeah, left click on a blank space, drag a small rectangle over it just to select everything. Going to move it to the right there, and then I've got plenty of space to make a title. Okay, and here we go, guys, the dreaded title. This is probably the most complex thing we're going to be working on today, but it's also probably one of the more one of the kind of most effective, let's say. I think that's the best way to put it. So we're going to go to create new media here. So if you see on your media browser, there is an option for new, and that is create new media. We're going to press that, and then you get a thing that says a composite shot. This is something we're going to look at in a bit more detail as we go on, and I would say it's probably where this program distances itself from Premiere the most, but this is the thing that's least similar to Premiere, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of After Effects, because you can make similar stuff in After Effects. So it's kind of like they've took a couple elements and blended them together. You press composite shot. Okay, now you'll have composite shot properties, and I'm glad that I can show you guys this. So it's good that we switched to a display capture, so you're able to actually kind of see exactly how this works. You can see that it says name. Let's call it title, just because that's what we're going to see in the browser. It's about to get a little bit tricky, guys. I've got to tell you that. So bear with me, and as long as you follow my steps, you can't go wrong. Okay, guys. And once again, if at any point you think, oh, I missed that step, the VOD is going to be available. You can go through step by step. So don't worry about that, guys. It's you can, and also you're always welcome to email me. Like I say, daniel@mediasavvycic.co.uk. Just drop me an email, guys, and just whatever you need to know, I'll do my best to run through it. The duration here, so I changed the title of that. Template says my template. That's absolutely fine. And here in the duration, I'm going to make this 10 seconds, okay? I'm going to make it 10 seconds. You don't want it to be longer than 10 seconds, because that would simply be too long. And you don't want it to be shorter than 10 seconds. Well, you could maybe have it shorter than 10 seconds, but I think 10 seconds is a good amount of time, especially in contrast to the fact that the video is a minute. So I'm okay with that, because we're going to add an animation to it as well. So I think that the fact that it's 10 seconds is okay. Now here it says 1920, 1080. That's already what we have, and we already have 25 frames a second, and we already have square pixels. So all of that is right. If for some reason you don't have that, then you just click on match timeline, and it's going to match your timeline anyway, but that is our timeline, so it's not changing anything. Okay, then you can press OK. Now it comes up there. That's where our composite shot's going to be. You can see here in this little box that our timeline that has our two new windows. So the editor is where your timeline is there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't disappeared, so don't worry about that. But you've got your title is a new box here, and that's where we're going to be working on this composite shot. Now I'm going to do something a little bit confusing, okay? But just bear with me. We would go to Window, and where it says Window, you've got the option for workspaces, and then I'm going to change my workspace to compositing. If you just follow step by step, you can't go wrong with this, guys. So we go to Window, and then workspaces, compositing, and it's going to take a little while to load, but that's fine. Right, and there we go. Now I can focus truly on my title, because it's deleted. It hasn't deleted anything. Everything's still there, but it's kind of created the workspace, so it's like I can focus on my title. So that's going to be the best for me. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to select this text icon here. So you've got this T for text, and I want you just to kind of select that, guys. And I want you to draw a rectangle that's going to fill your full box. So press that text tool there, and we're gonna draw a rectangle here. Look at that, guys. Okie dokie. Brilliant. Okie dokie, perfect. So we've got that big rectangle. Now you can probably see that on the top bar here, you have effects, lifetime, history, text. We're going to click on text, and then it's going to kind of help us to um, pick exactly how we want our text to look. I'm going to do hashtag we are media savvy. Um, okay. So guys, I want to let you guys know that there's a reported bug on this software, and that is that sometimes when you're creating text, um, it won't let you do certain keys because it'll say that you're doing a shortcut on the actual editor. If that ever happens, so like I tried this semi recently and I couldn't, the I key wouldn't work for me. It was identifying it as I was doing a video shortcut. So what I did is I literally went to my search bar in the bottom left there. I typed in Notepad, and you know you've probably used Notepad before if you use a Windows. I'm sure there's a Mac equivalent as well. I just wrote it into Notepad, copied it, and pasted it, and it's that simple. And it's a little bit of an earache, but it's or a bit of a backache, but it's all the same. It works all the same. So yeah, we are media savvy. Obviously, we're going to change the size. We're going to change the alignment. Um, when you've got that in, guys, what we are going to do is we're going to change the positioning. So there you see it says paragraphs. I'm going to change that to center justify alignment and center alignment. Yep. And then you can see on the bottom right here, you've got middle alignment, bottom alignment, and top alignment. And we're going to put that in middle alignment. So it's there, and I'm going to make it much bigger. You can, if you go to the left hand side here, you got Arial, and just underneath Arial it says 48. You can scrub that so you can drag it higher, or you could also manually input it. If you left click on it, it flashes up like that, and you can change that to like whatever you want it to be ultimately. But I'm going to click out of that, and I'm going to scrub this to like 200. I want it to be nice and big. Let's say 150. I don't want it to be too big. It's personal preference completely, guys, but I feel like um I think if it's title is too big, it looks a bit garish and it can look a bit ugly. If it's a little bit smaller, I think it can look kind of a bit more kind of quaint. But that's my own preference. Doesn't necessarily mean it's right. But it's also not wrong because yeah. So it's whatever you like, to be honest. But yeah, we've got that in Arial. I've just typed in hashtag we are media savvy. If you want to give it your own project a different title, totally fine. Whatever you want to call it. But also similarly, if you want to send us any of your work, if you did this yourself, awesome. I'm glad that you guys followed along. And you want to put hashtag we are media savvy, that's fantastic. We will feature your work, and you guys have been doing amazing. So I've seen the amazing projects that you guys have done in the digital imaging courses. I mean, even with the exploring photo piece stuff that I did, you guys did amazing in that. Sent me some great work. So yeah, continue it, and also hopefully we get some video editing ones as well. All right, guys, so I've highlighted the text there. You know how to highlight, right? So obviously just left click and then drag along. And then I am going to change the color. So it says pick a color on screen. So if you had any kind of branding or anything in there, you could just press that dotter and then click on it. But we're working on a black screen here because this is at the beginning of our timeline where I left a blank space. So I am just going to click on that one there, and I'm going to press this pink here because I can't. If someone can text me in the next 2.8 seconds what the pink code is for our branding, then I'm welcome. I'm happy to put it in. But if not, then I'm going to pick a random pink, which looks quite similar, and just wait for the gods to smite me, basically. But there you go, guys. So we've got We Are Media Savvy, and it is an Arial. And Arial is good if you're writing an essay, but if you're making a title, probably not the best font unless you want your title to look a bit pants. But yes, I do have Gil Sans on here, which is our brand, brand guidelines or brand font, and we have a few variations of that. I'm just going to press the regular Gil scans. She sells seashells by the seashore. We are media savvy, and there it looks a little bit more funky and a little bit more savified, which is a verb that we created. So there you go, guys. And it's a little bit too high though on the alignment. So what I'll do there is I'll just move that down. So I'll press my little pointer there, and got a shock there. Got a random notification that's not relevant. Yeah, okay. The music come through. Let me just a little bit. Okay, cool. Thanks, Haytham. Right, cheers. Got some tips there. So the music might have been coming through a bit loud there. So apologies for that, guys. I will make sure that it's not gonna deafen you guys next time. I'm gonna move this down ever so slightly to about here. Yes. Yeah. Okie dokie. No, it's about there. Okay. Right. That's still not. Yeah, so just move it as you see fit, guys. Use your hand to not your hand tool, use your pointer tool, and you can kind of just have it how you want it to be. I would say that's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. It looks quite nice. We are media savvy. That's our title. We're gonna put that at the beginning of the video, and I am gonna do a little animation on this, guys. So I'm gonna show you guys how you would animate a title ever so slightly in HitFilm Express. Almost forgot what the program was called there. Let's have a little look. Yeah, so you would press this drop down arrow here, and it comes up with a list of kind of options here. And this is where really like you got masks and things like that, which is just something that you don't have in a lot of basic video editors. So it's like the VFX side of this, I stressed it enough, is quite sophisticated. Okay, so we're gonna put the opacity down to 0. Let me just quickly kind of run through this, guys, okay? Because I know that this bit is a bit complex. So you go to your text layer here, where I've got my hashtag We Are Media Savvy. That is the same layer. I'm gonna just press that drop down arrow. Then I'm gonna press the transform drop down arrow, and it comes up with a few different options. Now, if you've used Premiere, if you've used the effect controls in Premiere, this will look familiar. It's pretty much the same as that, and you can move stuff around. Obviously, I've been moving stuff up and down there, but it hasn't affected these two, because usually these two would be linked, and these scales, obviously how big it is, they're linked usually to the animation. However, you're welcome to kind of make stuff bigger that way. Generally, if you're working on a picture, these would be more effective, whereas a title, you can kind of just put the font bigger as opposed to bringing the scale bigger, right? Or the font size, sorry. But yes, I'm pretty much happy with that. I'm going to put my opacity, that one there at the top, on 0, and as you can imagine, that is going to it's going to make my We Are Media Savvy disappear. Firstly, I'm going to put my scale size as small as you can go. So yeah, is it? Yeah, it is. Right, okay. Right, so we're going to put that 0. Okay, and it's gone, which is fine. We knew that was going to happen. You see this circle here. I'm going to just press that circle, and that makes a keyframe. And you can see there's one keyframe there, little keyframe guy, and it's at the very beginning. So it starts on 0. Then I'm going to drag this to the end. Don't worry if this is like kind of like magic to you, because we are going to work on keyframing together, and that's something that we'll look at a bit more in the next session. Then I'm going to put it straight up to 100. All right. Yeah, and there you go. It's all the way in, and let's have a little look there, guys. All right, so if I move that to 0, right, and then we can watch our keyframe together. So you can see there's 2 different dots here. That's a keyframe, and basically we've made a very simple animation, which is just our text fading in very slowly. Now, we could have just out the effects bin put a crossfade on it or a cross dissolve, but this gives us a little bit more control, and we can be a bit more creative with it. So let's have a little look at that. So yeah, it looks good. It's a little bit slow though, so I think that's because it's like 10 seconds long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make that a little bit quicker. So yeah, it works, but it's like, once again, it's too slow. I can just imagine like some kind of music though. Like for something like that, you could have like a you know like the PlayStation 2 startup sound, like something like that, and I think that would make it work a little bit more. But we're gonna make that much shorter because it's a little bit too slow. Yeah, there you go. Okay, right. I'm kind of worried that that is like really long. So that's 14 seconds. You can judge this off your timeline of how long it's actually going to be. I don't want it to be longer than like 10 seconds max, really. I'm gonna put it, and you can just drag that keyframe to whatever you want it to be. Like, however, whenever you want it to stop, that's fine. Let's say just 10 seconds. Then you can see there underneath where it says new text opacity, it's from 0 to 10 seconds, and you can see that that keyframe ends on 10 minutes. Sorry, 10 minutes. That would be a long, long fade, 10 seconds. And I've just changed it, but I'll put it back. Yeah. Right, there we go. Let's have a look at that now. I still feel like, ooh, what are you doing? Okay, let's have a look at that now. That's better. It's still kind of too slow. I reckon about five. Right, gonna stop messing about. That's better though. It is much better. I'm gonna make it about like 5 seconds. That's good enough for me. Yeah, I think that'll do because it's something that really doesn't need that much. There you go. That's fine. Now I'm happy with that now. Yeah, that's okay. Once again, it doesn't just need to be like a fade in. You can do stuff with your positioning. You can kind of make it come in from the side. The way you would do that is this. So you look at position there. The way you do that is just exactly the same. You would drag these axes. I remember that it was on 7, unfortunately. Yeah, you can just drag that all the way, and it would go out. Then you would literally just put your keyframe in, and you would drag it back, and then you would have an animation of your title coming back. We don't need to worry about that for now, though. Okay, that was on 7. I remember. Fortunately. Okay. There. No. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that little fade in guy. Yeah. All right, I'll do. All right, so perfect, guys. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna switch our window back. Um, so we'll just go to Window, Workspaces, and I'm gonna go to Reset Workspace, and it's just gonna drag it straight back to what it was there, guys. So once again, just Window, and you don't need to worry about any of this. This is already saved. It's gonna just be in its own kind of thing in the media folder. So yeah, we just go to Reset Workspace, and we just wait for it to load. It's a little bit intensive when you switch your workspace around, but yeah, it should be fine. And there we go. I'm just going to go off title in the editor, and there is our project. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there. And I'm just going to drag the title in. I don't know why it was still 30 seconds. And bang. So obviously my title's 30 seconds long for some reason. I mustn't have clicked off it, but it's fine. And I can just literally cut that to where I want it to be. Yep, about there. All right. And I'm just going to drag that title to there. I'm going to stick it right at the front. Remember our ripple gap, delete gap. Perfect. Okie dokie. And yeah, and I remember him said that it was coming, the audio was coming through like crazy loud, so I'm going to make sure it's like real quiet. I'm going to drag my audio track to there so the title comes on, and okay, and we want it to match on there so we can see what the title seems like with the music. I'm going to put it on like -30. It's going to be really quiet. Even though on OBS it should be quiet as well. That should be quieter for you guys. Right, works, right? So that's our fade in title. One thing I can do now is because the way that we had the Azores clip fade in initially, we put it at the beginning of that clip, but you can also put it in between two clips. So that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to delete this.
fade. I'm going to go back to effects, and I'm going to go down to video. Yep, video transitions, cross dissolve, and I'm going to put it in the middle there. You can see that now it's in the middle, and watch now, yeah, and that's obviously going to be more, it's going to be a little bit cooler. There you go, and it kind of fades together, but it's a little bit fast, so we can just stretch it out a bit. Nice, there you go. All right, cool. I am gonna, if we were working on this like for a long time, we could go through and we could make composite shots as we did with the title for each of these clips, and I'm sure it would look lovely. We could really come up with some creative stuff of how to like zoom in and stuff very slowly. I don't think we really have time for that, so I'm going to put a couple of the effects in just as transitions, and we can have a look at some basic transitions. So I'm going to fade these two clips of the Azores, and I'm going to use a cross dissolve so we can see how that would look. And I put it right in the middle, and we can see how that like little nice little transition guy looks. Quite nice, right? It's very chill. And then, okay, so there's a bunch of transitions on here, so we're going to be a little bit creative and we're going to play around with a couple of guys. So let's have a little look. There's the zoom. Wipe is one that I use a lot of. If it's similar to the wipe in Premiere, it's not actually. Maybe you don't want it to, you want to kind of like, sometimes less is more. Okay, so I think like fade to black, cross dissolve, they're like classics of editing, and you don't want to overuse those, but they're effective when you can use them. So don't worry about that. But there's certain stuff, from my own opinion, that if you use it, it looks like a little bit like movie maker style. So the ones where it's like a checkerboard and stuff, it's totally fine to use those. There's nothing wrong with it, but it may diminish how professional your project looks. But if you don't care about that kind of stuff, then feel free to just go wild and do any kind of transition that you want. So zoom, fade to color, and iris. We're going to try iris on here, see what that looks like. Put it in the middle there between Japan and, ooh, that looks, I'm not a fan of that actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, and I feel like that's because it's not in between the two clips. Maybe if it was in between, it might work. Let's try it again. I'm going to put it right. Yeah, there, it's in the middle. Now it should work, okay? Looks okay. Actually, I don't mind that too much. And that was literally, if you want to use that one, guys, it's effects. You go down to transitions, video, and into zoom, and then iris. But I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to try the fade to color, okay? In the middle. Make sure it's in the middle, guys, for it to work. That one's nice. That's a fade to black. As we talked about the fade to black, you've got, so there, yeah, as it says there, faded color. You've got this window on the left, and it has the actual color that it'll fade to. Try that with the media savvy pink, see if that works. I don't know if it will, but we'll give it a shot. It would need to be much longer for it to work, and it would probably need to be slightly less opacity. You can do this kind of stuff when you work on the different tracks as well, which is maybe a bit better. It kind of works because that's kind of quite neon, and you get these pinks at the bottom. It's like a flash, right? It's okay. I'm not that mad at that, but let's keep it to black for now. Keep it, but you can welcome to try and do it however you wish. Let's just keep it black. Yeah. Is it gonna go to black? Is it gonna go to red? Yep. So black. Yeah, that'll do. That's alright, right? It looks quite nice now, actually. Yeah, and we're gonna kind of play around with a couple more of these transitions. Is it still coming through really loud? Is it okay? I'm gonna guess that it's okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. All right, we're gonna do a couple more of these transitions there, guys, and then we're gonna export the video, which is the key part. Motion, yes, these ones are really nice. Okay, so if you go with the transitions video down to motion, these ones are like quite legit. I use these all the time. You see these people use these all the time. Push is like a massive, it's like a staple of like, it's similar across dissolve, but these ones are real good. Put it in the middle, yep, and you get push. Oh, that looks awesome. That's really good, that one. I like that one a lot. And also you get the custom motion blur here. In my opinion, this is the best one so far. The cross dissolve is a classic. You can use that whenever, but like this is good for two reasons. I think that that kind of push effect. Actually, I'll tell you like a little like mini story, right? Basically, like I use a push all the time. Like I use the push transition all the time in Premiere, but the one in Premiere it doesn't have. I usually have to add my own motion blur, so I'll put an adjustment layer on the top of just a motion blur, so then it does that blur. But this already has it inbuilt, so that is really nice. And if you look at that, that looks very very professional in my opinion. I really really like that. And you can make the motion blur bigger or smaller. So if we put that to like 47, wow, that looks great. That looks really, really good. So yeah, that is a good one to bear in mind. If you want something to look super professional, you've got a really nice effect there. And also something else which makes that kind of effect so much better is the ability to kind of, if you want that consistency of like that transition, like several transitions, like little mini clips, the direction of the blur as well, and you can change the actual direction, not the blur, the direction of the transition. You can change it from right, left, up, and down. So perfect. I'm gonna try this one on up, and I'm gonna add this transition again. Oh no, that's gonna alter the one that we just used. So we can leave that one on right. Back there. I'm gonna try slide. I don't know how the slide's gonna look on this, but and I'm conscious of time, so I'm gonna speed up. Looks fine. Looks fine. I would still say that I prefer. No, I would. It looks quite nice actually. Yeah, these are really really good. Um, that's nice, right? That looks like pretty sick. Because it kind of masks over itself, which is so interesting. Like it overlays it. And for it to do that automatically, that's really nice. So that's something I was stressing as well. Like I think ultimately, if you're like editing in 4K footage, like you've got like some 4K footage that you've shot that's like a bunch, this program is going to have a hard time dealing with that just because of like the fact that it is a free use like software. But if you want to do like I saw like quite a few like professional video editors who use this stuff for like stuff like this, like their actual bulk editing, like 4K stuff, they'll probably do in Premiere. But if like their VFX stuff, they may even use this, so it is like a really really good program. Um, that looks quite nice. And then I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna put another push on in the Venice one, but I'm gonna put it up. So I'm gonna change the direction up. Okay. See, that's nice, but the motion blur isn't really like effective when it goes up. I think that's because of the distance it travels. So I'm gonna put that to like 44. Um, and once again, if you want the transition to be slower or faster, how would we do that, guys? We would just increase the timeline scale, and then we can edit that there. But I'm happy with that for now. Right, and then I think we're gonna do try split. I'm not quite too sure of split, but let's give it a go. Put it right in the middle. Yeah, I don't like that. That one I'm not a massive fan of, because it's like what I was saying. I feel like, I mean, you might like it. That's in my opinion totally, but let's try horizontal and vertical, see if that makes a difference. Yeah, I don't like it. It's my opinion, but I'm not a fan of that. Let's go back. We're gonna do another slide. We'll try and change the direction on slide. You see that when you don't put it in the middle, it's going to be just black. So I need to make sure that that's there. Yeah, there we go. But it's, oh my god, I need to make that a little bit bigger. I hope you guys are getting on okay. You can change the direction of the split, so I'm going to make this one a bit more of a diagonal. Yep, and then slide out. Okay, we'll try slide out. And let's see. Oh, that was horrible. Um, that's my fault though, because I put it like on the side. Let's just leave it like that. Let's change the angle though. Okay. Don't like it though. It's like but that's the thing. That's part of the fun of it is just experimenting. Let's go. Let's keep another push transition, and this time. So if that one went up, this one's gonna go down. Okay, so make sure you go down on this one. There you go. And then we're gonna put that up to like 50. Then put the motion blur up to 50. That is. Okay. Almost there, guys. We're nearly done. Couple more transitions, and then I think we're pretty much there. Is the music okay, guys? It's still coming through super loud because I've turned it down so much, so should be a bit better. Excuse me. Let's try one of the wipes. Actually, I tell you what, we'll press for time. I'm gonna bomb through these last couple because I want to get this. Make sure this is done okay. Fade to color. Stick that in there. Yep. Nice. Then we're just gonna do a cross dissolve there, guys. But feel free to play around with these effects. Try some of the different ones. Warp, I kind of know what that's going to do, and you can add you can download presets, I believe, on this, which is really good. This one's going to look crazy. The warp effects always look pretty wild. So let's have a little look. Oh my god, it takes up like half the thing. So it didn't really work actually, but yeah, be aware of like warp effects because they can be pretty crazy. Um, yeah, like I said, we're pressed for time, so I'm not gonna fuss about too much, but that would be quite interesting. And then we're going to add another cross dissolve just in that, because I think that they're quite similar in color, so it should blend quite nicely. Yeah. And what? Let's get another zoom. Let's try the iris one, come on, because we haven't used that yet, so I guess it's okay. All right, yeah. And you can change the shape. So even though they're like their own presets, you've still got quite like a. I think the triangle look cool. Yeah, that's nice. And then you can change the size and everything. It's pretty cool. Oh, I like that. That looks really cool. Um, so you get a bit of control over these effects even. Look at that. Okay, and that's our work, guys. We did it. We smashed it, and it's 1 minute in like 6 seconds. Finally, what we're gonna do is we're gonna export our work. So what you would do, guys, is you go to export here in the bottom right, and you would just left click on that, and it comes up, and there's our exports already. We've got test one and test two, and this is test three, guys, believe it or not. And I'll click that, and I'm just going to press save, and there you go. And it's doing that there for us, and it'll maybe take like 5 seconds, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sorry, we're just waiting for this to load. It's on 20% now. Once this is exported, we're gonna watch, and that'll be that. Nice, and it's kind of you can see the preview window of it, and it's exporting in H.264. Sorry, I didn't go. I'll go through that in a second. Yeah, I'll go for that now. So yeah, you can see underneath where it's actually exporting like the type of preset. We've got the right one set on there. you would just literally click on that bar. Might have to wait till it's done now. Um, you can change the no, so there it says default preset. Okay, so your default preset, and that's you can change what you want it to export as. And there's a couple different options here: Facebook, Apple, iPhone, generally YouTube 1080p HD. It's H.264 if you've used what's called it before Premiere, and you're always gonna I would say usually stick to that one. You'd be all right. Yeah, and then you can obviously decide where you want to save it to and what you want to call it. But yeah, we're nearly there, guys. Nearly there. Oh, you're just waiting patiently. Just gonna double check that the world hasn't ended. Yeah, everything's good. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed the session. I'm gonna catch up with the chat in a second. Switch the screen over just so we can just so I can see that everything's been okay. But I think we're nearly there. And if guys, this has been a little like a few many things at once, don't worry because we're going to time code the video. You can go through step by step. I'm always there to ask if you want to have any questions about anything. And yeah, so that's at 100%. It says finished. That's our exported product done, and we are going to click on that, and we're just going to double click on it, and you can see there that the duration, as I said, snaps back to however long the clip was. So which is nice. All right, so we're going to start from the beginning. Hopefully this is not going to be like destruction of the ears. I don't think it will be. Okay, so are you ready, guys? And let's watch our handiwork. Can you guys hear that? I'm so sorry. I'm going to turn up the volume ever so slightly because I can't hear that at all. And it's because it was so quiet in the video. Let me know if it's just like too loud. There you go. All right. Okie dokie, guys. Just give me 1 second. Okay, guys, brilliant. So I think that is my screen crashed there. I think that's because the webcam's crashed there, but that's okay. So yeah, guys, that is our video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that was all right for everybody. I'm just gonna catch back up with the chat now a little bit. It's good to see that nice like frozen picture of my face there. Let's just get rid of that for now. Yep, I do want to remove that. Okay, guys. So yeah, I hope that was okay for you. We will. Okay, so let's have a little bit. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's good that there's been a bit crack. I've really enjoyed this first project. Thank you very much, Lynn. I really appreciate the feedback there. That's awesome. And yes, Jane. Hopefully it's been okay for you. Um, Brilliant, brilliant. All right, guys, perfect. So yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, you need to sign in as well with your account when you start at the beginning, and then it should be fine. Yeah. Okay. And then with an activate button. So yeah, you can press that. You can press the activate button. And then but it should generally just work as well anyway. Okay, the Tunnel of Dan. Pretty much, Matthew. Yeah, it was pretty much the Tunnel of Dan there when we first opened the display capture. It became a bit meta, a bit Inception, didn't it? Really, for a moment there when I had that display capture on. Okay, brilliant. So yeah, guys. Fingers crossed that that was all right for you guys. Like I said, it looked quite nice at the end, I think, and we came out with a pretty good project. If you don't get it first time, don't worry. It's a lot to take in at once, so just go through it slowly, step by step, and I'm there if you need any help. And as I said, the video is going to be up there, so you're welcome to just watch it back and kind of go through at your own pace, really. We will be back today at 4 o'clock with the Staying Connected stream, and we have another special guest there. But yeah, guys, I just want to stress that HitFilm Express is a great product, and as long as you know you've got it downloaded and you activate it, you just sign into your account. It's totally free, and then it's relatively straightforward to use once you've kind of you've worked through it and you've been through the motions. So I hope that you guys can come away with some pretty nice products. And we will be back next week with another tutorial. And hopefully, in that session, we're going to be looking a little bit more at keyframing, and we'll be working with some actual footage there, I think. So we'll see how that goes. So I hope you enjoyed the session today, guys. I certainly enjoyed teaching it. And yeah, I hope that we get some more people into video editing. It's a really good skill to know. And it can be great for so many things, dude. And it's one of those things that I always stress that it could be quite lucrative for you, because especially in a time like this when you sat in the house, um, it's a real skill, and you can literally be sat in bed if you wanted to in video editing, and you can come away with some pretty amazing stuff. So yes, I want to give you as much encouragement as possible. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I am going to grab a bite to eat. But yeah, thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Okay. Unless anyone else has any questions, if there's anything else you'd like to know, now is the time. And if not, I am going to take my leave, guys. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it then. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys, for stopping by today. Um, yeah, I'll see you guys later, and I'll see you guys next week for another video editing stream. Okay. Once again, guys, if there's any questions, just fire them my way. You got my email. Oh, and also before I go, almost forgot that. Please make sure that you do the survey, guys. That is like super double important. I'm just gonna drop the link for the survey in there, and I'll just leave that there for you guys to do. But yeah, that's it, guys. As long as you get that survey done, then we're all good. We're laughing. I'm just going to pop the link in for the survey, guys. And all right, give me 1 second. Yeah, so please get that. All right, there, boy. Please get that survey done because it's like so important. We need to get that done. Um, okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna take off, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, bye. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Okay, cheers, guys. All right, bye bye, everybody.